We don't rotate and have your belt buckle and sternum both spin out together. But the ability to not let your chest rotate out ahead of you, keeping your back to the target. Keep your sternum facing that ball as your hands and hips go. You see what I'm saying? Love, just getting rid of the separation right here. Yeah, right. His good ones. Jimmy, just when I watch you, your great ones. Yeah. The change in direction happens so perfectly together. Meaning, your chest gets up there and you just hold it for a second, and the arms come down. That's your little straight tip a couple yards left. Yeah. The one where you get that little high up kind of toe chunky one that just kind of gets a little bit a glance out there. Fast hands to the top, your speed's already happening up here, your chest moves out in front.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, you know, even if I didn't touch your swing and just told you, just be patient to the top. Yeah. Feel like you're taking 2 times longer to get up there. Hold that back to the target for a split second, then go. Little Hideki drills, things like that. I mean, you'd be tournament ready in a minute and a half. For me, in order for me to hit it harder, I actually have to be a little slower going back because it allows my body to take a hold of my arms and hands and then lets it transition. That's not always the case, I know. Some people kickstart their swing with a little bit of speed, but my thing for you when you start competing again, rhythm going back is going to be key because your swing might be geared to that 130 sometimes when you're out here hitting the crap out of it. And that, I just would remind you, hey, we're not going 130 on the way back. Yeah, and that's the one thing I would just, from starters, you look great over the ball. I'm going to point out a couple things, but just connection to the top. Good rhythm going back. Hold it up there just a split second longer. I think the draw will be even that much easier to hit, okay? All right. Let's hit a couple like that, and let's take some vids. It's one of the better swings I've had the chance to work with, man, let me tell you. Oh, yeah. It's just so good, yeah. Such a good golf swing. The X factor move. What people have to understand is sequencing and understanding how the body works from the top. We don't rotate and have your belt buckle and sternum both spin out together. That gets you way in front of your arms and hands, and of course, because it can cause a glancing blow, right? A lot of cuts. Yeah. What we just talked about there, the understanding that your hands and your hips fire, but the ability to not let your chest rotate out ahead of you, keeping your back to the target. What I used to do when I used to play golf, and actually, for a living, I used to sit on one of those boards that you had, the balance boards that you could actually turn your hips on, and my trainer would hold an alignment rod into my sternum, and I had to turn my hips isolated of my upper body, and that helped me disassociate. Because the truth of what actually happens in the downswing sequence is this. We get here, the hips do rotate, the arms and hands do fire, but the upper body stays back, and the chest follows the arms and hands, doesn't lead. And that's the X factor that I was going to say in the beginning when I said, hey, Jimmy, there's just a little separation of arms to chest from the top. All that was, bud, was just a little bit of the breakdown of the arms, getting a little lifty, and then you would have that, boom, boom. You owning this 100% like those last 2 swings is maintaining that proper position halfway back and then really focusing in transition about getting the hips out of the way with keeping your back to the target. A way that we do that very simply for our players, we put a golf ball right here. Go to the top, Jimmy, real quick, and I tell them this all the time. Keep your sternum facing that ball as your hands and hips go. You see what I'm saying? And look at that club just drop down. That's a cool feeling right there, right?
That is, actually.
Spatial awareness is everything, and just having something there, look at that.
That's really nice.
You know what's funny? That's him feeling his back stay at the target, but what do you notice? Chest and hands are directly in line together. That's what it takes to be actually connected. That's beautiful, bud. Yeah. Love it.
That's a totally different sensation.
And that's just,
That'd be fun.
Oh, Jimmy. Dude.
Yeah.
Look, guys, just falling right on that line again. Look at those 3 shots. Oh, dude.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah, well, let's do that.
That is, please.
So, Jimmy, when you were playing your best golf, always working it one way, with the irons especially, and it was a draw, correct?
Yep, every time. Yeah.
Okay. And here's something. Have you always been built strong like that, like big chest?
Not necessarily.
Dudes with the bigger chests with the football upper bodies typically always naturally come in a little steeper. Just a lack of space and just being able to get the arms underneath and whatnot. But that's always something. So when I think about you hitting the draw, the right away what I think is the reason why it probably works so well, it really neutralizes your path of your swing and your swing plane. Because you were saying earlier, misses off the toe,
Yep.
misses chunky. A lot of times that's a steep miss, 100%. High hands, right?
Yep, absolutely.
And that right there, you know that. And the big part about that is a steep transition typically, right?
Sure.
So probably that draw helps you to stay more neutral.
Yeah,
and it's funny because I've watched you at a couple that were like unbelievable.
Yeah.
And it's like just a 1 yard little tipper.
Yeah.
And
so
I like
those.
So neutral.
Yeah, I like those.
Let me watch you a little bit here. This is great.
Yeah. So yeah, I definitely feel, you know, if this left arm kind of gets pinned. You know what I mean?
Yep. Oh yeah. We just dropped the good stuff for you, and the sun just breaks through the clouds, and it's like this. Ah.
I feel like I have a lot more room. Tons of room.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of room,
yeah.
Check this out. I've been talking a lot with Mark Hensby lately, and one thing I love about Mark is he's so knowledgeable on the golf swing. You know, he's played on a President's Cup team.
Yeah.
The guy's won on the PGA Tour, won on the Champions Tour. That's kind of timeless stuff, you know what I mean? So he worked on getting his hip bump back. But look at the station he has set up in his house. He has the one foam roller going up right here to prevent his hip from ever getting closer to the ball, but actually maintaining that space. Watch when I slow this down. Look at his hips, and look at the club tracking down on top of his forearm, and look at the space he has, and look where the club is. And now he's on top of it. He just shot 7 under at TPC San Antonio the other day, which is a tough course. Yeah. And he said, Adam, it's like I'm hitting it like I did, you know,
that's awesome.
Back in the day. So if we look at this now, we were taking some still shots and some pictures of this. Watch this sequence right here, and look at how much space this guy has now. Look how he's still in his posture.
Yeah, that's nice.
And you guys, Mark's north of 50.
Yeah.
So for him to be in those angles, look at this. Look at the club out in front of him now. And look at it exit right on plane. So that thing was just like this. Very direct to the ball, but still shallow. Shallow because set up, very connected right here. You know, this move really helps. Being centered helps you turn more and not pushing your body that way. Having the right arm structure right here. But really, just his left hip is getting out of the way without his right one moving towards the ball. So when you're rehearsing that, that's what I want to see you own, right? Because if you can get that, and we can get rid of all of this, that's what's going to keep your hands shallow in transition, but also keep the club direct to the golf ball and never dropping. Here's a list again. We got the right hand on the grip. Let's just call it this. Let's call it grip and hip. Make it easy.
Well,
grip and hip.
Yep.
Okay. We're going to stay centered in the backswing and really just feel that right arm in the right spot throughout the swing. The only addition, exactly, is creating space like we just talked about, like Mark Hensby did. Love it. You know what's funny, bud? Do you see how like the ball flight's starting to do? Like when you let it go, you can see how it's going to be what you want.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Where it starts out on nothing's starting left.
No,
nothing's
I can definitely
hard.
feel like that's going to be the genesis to kind of finding a shape.
At Porzak Golf, we take a lot of pride in having developed some of the best and most consistent golf swings on the planet. We do this through simplicity. Our Full Swing Masterclass will take you on a step-by-step, easy-to-understand process on how to get your golf swing better than ever. Join the many before you who've utilized our Full Swing Masterclass to take their games to the next level and beyond.